It is a known thing that wherever there is a bad thing, there is always something good embedded, and it's only the inquisitive ones who will pay attention and see the good that is embedded behind the bad. Welcome to the United Hotspot, and here I am to tell you the good news about our defense, despite the fact that we've got so many injuries to our senior players. Listen, there is only one name to the good in our backline. That is Willy Kambwala. What a young boy who made his first senior debut with against Liverpool at Old Trafford in front of a whole packed Old Trafford, 75 back to the rafters, an intense game from the start of the game to the last minute, and boy, didn't he hold his own to turn up and show us that he actually can be a serious contender for a place in this team. Look at the stats here from Willy Kambwala. His first senior debut with Manchester United against Liverpool, Darwin Nunez, Diaz, Luis Diaz, and Mo Salah was the attack he was facing. But here are the stats: 100% duels won. Those are ground duels that he won 100%, meaning every ground duel that Kambwala went into, he won. He's only 19. Two, 100% tackles won, meaning every tackle he went to, he won. That's what 100% means. 29 passes completed across the entire more than 90 minutes. I think it was 70 minutes at the time that he played. He completed 29 passes, and we saw how critical some of his passes were from the back line to the midfield through to the forwards. Nice, well counted technical passes. This is a 19-year-old centre back. 3 clearances. What could have happened? It was against Liverpool. Those clearances could have ended into goals, if you do recall. 2 interceptions. Now, this was the first senior debut of a 19-year-old player who comes in as a gap measure, if I would call it that we were in trouble. Our natural starting centre backs are sick, and we just look. Eric Ten Hag looks to the bench and he's thinking, "Can I trust this boy against Liverpool?" If the injuries hadn't happened, we probably would never have a chance to come out here and say we've got another gem, another emerging gem from our academy. Let me tell you, hard times make you create. Hard times make you find solutions where they don't seem to exist. You look within. When you're in your hardest, I think even in life, it's the rule of life. And this is what I keep telling people, that football is like the heartbeat or a soundtrack, sort of when it comes to the physical, of course, not the spiritual. But when it comes to the physical, football is like a heartbeat. It gives you it's the template. I call it the template of life, because during hard times is when you figure out that you have solutions around you, but you could not see them. The hard times United has had, being forced into 51 different, I think, centre-back partnerships of 43 of them, have forced us to see that we've got talent from our academy. The young players, the Kobis we are praising, are now emerging. Kambwala is looking now like a player who can go out there and start every game without Lisandro Martinez, Rafael Varane, and Lindelof and Evans, name them. That we think now that even when Johnny Evans returns, Kambwala could be starting ahead of him, because you want to maintain that. I mean, you don't have a full debut against Liverpool the way he did, and you're relegated again to the bench for the next game. You don't do that. He was all excited after his debut. He knew that he performed well. He grew into the game. At times, I thought he was moving and getting out of place, but as a young player, it is easy to be attracted by where the ball goes. When you grow into the game as he did as the game went on, you would see that he was only getting better. Of course, the rest of it will come with experience and maturity. Eric Ten Hag was impressed. Everyone was impressed in Kambwala and what he put out there. His heart out, and all humble, Bible boy, prayerful boy. Before the game, reads his Bible. After the game, reading his Bible. He's a humble lad. For me, those are the things for me that show you a player who is going to excel. Humility. Look at Kobe Maino. Scores a goal that he has every right to put off his shirt, to do anything, to disrespect people and shout, but he's so calm and collected. That's humility, and it's a mark of a person who is going to go out there and succeed in life. For me, that's the one thing I've noticed about some of these young academy players we are getting, from Kobe and now Kambwala. Even Garnacho, he's so humble. I met him. He's so humble. How he stops and takes selfies with fans when he's going for a game. He's so humble. That humility is so important if you're going to perform, more so in this day and time. More so in this day and time when there is too much access to the public, to the supporters, when there are so many things that can get you excited playing for United. Look at a 19. What would you do? Imagine 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if you were at the age of Kobe or Kambwala and you play for Manchester United, make a debut like that against Liverpool. I think it would be difficult for you to keep your head down and respect people, respect elders and great people, I think, around your hood. But that's the humility, the mark of a player who can play for Manchester United for long. So I love that possibility. And I look at this Kambwala boy and I'm reminded of the story of Phil Jones. And of course, the Phil Jones story is not good because Phil Jones was played over 160 games for Man United since he joined. But of course, for the most part, he was a player, a part of the rotation. And it's okay. Even Kambwala could be that, but Kambwala can actually be a starter. He has shown us he can. But for of course, Phil Jones didn't end well because of injuries. I mean, he's only 32 now, but he's not playing football. We don't even know where he is since he left Man United. You can imagine the injuries, cost him his career badly, by the way. And you can credit United for being patient with him. And it's sad that I've even brought him up, that we think about him and remember him as one of those players who was a very important part of our rotation because he played both defense and midfield when he was called upon to. So, but the story of Kambwala just reminds me of Phil Jones, that you can grow into a role and be an important part of the team if you get the opportunity and take it. Phil Jones got his opportunity playing with some of the best centre backs we've had back then when he was emerging, when he has just joined Manchester United. But when his time he got his chances, he showed that he can be important, and he became an important part of the rotation, a squad player, an important squad player. You need such players who are not going to be starting every game, but will be important. Now, the emergence of Kambwala does not mean we are not going to go into the market and sign Todibo or sign whichever centre back, Bremer, or whichever centre back we're being linked with. It is just to give us the confidence that from within we've got players who know the culture of the club, who can step up when they are called upon to. Because when you spend money on players to come on already made players from elsewhere to come into the club, you're gambling on these players. It's never a given that they are going to shine, but you need to have young other players from within, backbone of the squad, that if it does not work with these new signings, there are always going to be these players who will step up. These are the Victor Lindelofs, and that's why I keep telling people, you cannot sell Lindelof. You can't. So Kambwala, we may not see him yet as a starter, full-time starter, but he's 19 and he can turn into that player. But even if he didn't, Kambwala has already proven that he can be a very important player for Manchester United, a very important part of our rotation at Manchester United, regardless of who comes to partner Lisandro Martinez for the longer haul. So this is key. So for me, I love that. Again, we might call out Eric Ten Hag for a lot of things went wrong, a lot of things gone wrong, but we will credit him and we will remember that he's the guy who first gave the opportunity to Kobe Maino, to Kambwala, to Garnacho. And it might not be perhaps that ordinarily he would have done it, but we wouldn't know. Maybe the situation, the injury situation and the lack of money forced him into that because he did not sign all the players he wanted, but he's the one who did it anyway. So he could have, for example, with Kobe, he could have stubbornly said this boy is young and stuck with Christian Eriksen and Scott McTominay and he's Sofiane Amrabat. But he's the one putting Amrabat on the bench and starting Kobe Maino. So the credit will be there. The credit will always be there. He's the one who elevated Kambwala into the starting 11. Not so many of us know him. There's another young left-footed black kid playing for Man United now, who actually, I think, signed a contract recently. What a baller. Several clubs are looking out for him. He's a winger. And he just reminds me a bit of Greenwood. I think we have another Greenwood emerging from within. And I'll tell you about him, I think, in a special video in the future. This young little black kid is something else. He's insanely good. He's another Mason Greenwood in the making. So there is a lot of talent in this academy that when the opportunity comes, they step up and it's presented to them and they step up like the Kambwala did, like Maino did, like Garnacho did, like Ahmad is doing. And of course, we can still call Ahmad an academy kid because he joined when he was a very young kid. Honestly, this for me shows me that the future of the club is the foundation of any stronghold is on the youngsters, not on the old. The youngsters form the foundation of every stronghold globally in anything. If you don't have youngsters, however much you have money to go and buy new good players, it won't work. That's why we've struggled. But right now, we are clearly seeing that we have a good template in all departments, which is very important. So for me, Kambwala, I think he has thrown in the ring for a serious contender for a start, with or without injuries. I think he has made a case for himself. And for me, the one thing he has already done is proven that he can be an important player for the longer haul for Manchester United. My name is Webb. This is the United Hotspot. Subscribe.